Hi, welcome to LAU. We hope you have fun.
Welcome to LAU!
Welcome to One Diplomacy Summer Camp.
Welcome to the Lebanese American University. Today is the 4th of July. We are joining you from LAU campus in Beirut. You are watching our summer camps live broadcast. All this week, high school students worked hard to bring you this program.
From picking the topics, conducting research and interviews, editing together the footage, and even hosting live, the program you are watching is 100% student-made. Stay tuned for a variety of topics that include water sustainability, westernization, fear of the unknown, emotional manipulation, euthanasia, and career guidance. We hope you stay with us here on YouTube for the live show.
We will be back with our first segment.
It's a wrong mic. It's a wrong mic. Okay. We we all once sang the nursery rhyme "Rain, Rain, Go Away," but today, in 2025, the Lebanese citizens ask, "Rain, Rain, where'd you go?" Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dinish Baro from Amshad High School, and this is "Rain, Rain, Where'd You Go?"
Water shortage isn't a new visitor knocking on Lebanon's door. It's been slowly creeping into our daily lives. Why? A mix of factors come into play. Water pollution, mismanagement of our resources, and as Ms. Manal Abu Dakhir told us in our interview, the biggest culprit is climate change. Start with the interview questions now. Okay. Who is Ms. Manal Abu Dakhir, and what's your role here at LEU as the lead coordinator for sustainability?
I'm Manal Abu Daghir. I have an master's degree in environment and land management, geography from St. Joseph University. I started here at LAU one year and 15 days shot. And the office is also new. So the office was created in last April 2024. So the whole, I will not say the sustainability concept is new at LAU, but the office is new. What we do exactly or practically, currently we are preparing a sustainability strategy for the university. And when I say the university, I mean the two campuses, Byblos and Jbel, Byblos and Beirut, and the two hospitals. So the whole LAU
Community or
family. Exactly. At the level of the four pillars that I just mentioned. So this is one of the main activities currently at the office. We are also revamping the sustainability webpage of LAU. It needs a lot of work. The content is there, but it needs a bit of organization. Dr. Nadim is the lead sustainability officer, and I'm the lead sustainability coordinator. So, along with Dr. Nadim, I'm a little bit running the office. So, everything I just said was built on two people, Dr. Nadim and me. So basically, we are doing everything.
You're doing amazing. I've seen the posters.
Thank you.
The next question is, us as Lebanese citizens, we've seen a massive decrease in the rainfall this year. Okay,
So-
what does that, or what is the cause of that, especially in Lebanon? Because of the war?
No, it's not because of the war. We have less rain. Actually, it's the whole climate that has been changing. The difference is that this year we felt it a lot more than the years before, and the major issue is not the quantity of rain that has lessened. The problem is with the number of snowy days. This year we didn't have snow, and what really recharges our aquifers and our underground water is snow, a lot more than the rainfall. And even if we see like 3 days of massive rain, it's not like having the same amount of rain for 1 week, because the earth doesn't take the time to absorb all this water and to be infiltrated underground. So it's less rain, less snow, less snowy days, and of course the climate and temperature changes.
Okay.
Yes.
How can we as citizens, even at home, help mitigate these side effects of the water shortage?
There's a lot of small things that we can do. There's a lot of awareness campaigns, like close the water while you are brushing your teeth, or don't take bath but shower. So use the water wisely. Be careful if you have leakage, fix it. Small things like that. It's true you cannot solve the whole water issue around the globe, but at least you can mitigate a little bit.
Lebanese citizens have all noticed it. A dry winter, less rain, and barely any snowfall. Our main resources of non-portable water are depleting. And this impact is real. From farmers facing crop loss and food insecurity, to wildlife, and all the way back to you. We even heard it firsthand from LAU staff and students. Okay, what's your water source at home?
Beer.
Beer? Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't get tanks delivered to your house?
I mean, sometimes because the beer dries out. If we don't have sufficient water, we do get things.
Okay. So does that force you to perform certain measures to mitigate your water shortage?
I know it happens quite often, especially in the summer.
Okay. And what are those measures that you take?
It's like we use less water. Each person has like a lower amount of water to use, and we use it less throughout the day. And instead of kind of washing the dishes after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we keep it all until the end of the day. So we wash them together, stuff like that.
كنت عم تقولي لي انه ساترنات عم تغلى صح؟
صح مزبوط. يعني نحن مثلا ال1000 لتر تنفترض اللي عم نعبي عم بكلفنا بالمليون، مليون وأربعة، حسب كل ستارن بياخد شيء. يعني كنت ادفع مثلا من 7 ملايين، صرت 12 مليون، صرت 16 و100 هلا السنة. انه كيف؟ وين دولتنا تسأل عنا؟ ما في.
So, what can you do? You can take small but powerful steps at home, such as washing all your dishes at the end of the day, always doing full loads of laundry, and fixing leaks as soon as they show up. Remember, every drop saved makes a difference.
I would like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me through the journey of water scarcity in Lebanon. This was Rain, Rain, Where'd You Go? And I am Lina Shbaro. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our live broadcast. I am Leila and my friend Yara, and I are going to be your guys' host for today. We have interviewed and filmed people around the campus to get multiple perspectives and opinions on westernization and how it seems to affect us.
When I hear the word westernization, I immediately think of capitalism. It is more than just people wearing Western clothes or listening to Western music. It is about how an entire economic system spreads around the world. Westernization often goes hand in hand with big corporations and consumer culture. It is the idea that success means buying more, producing more, and competing in a system that mostly came from Western countries. But is that always a good thing? For some, capitalism has brought jobs and growth. For others, it has created huge gaps between rich and poor and damaged local economies. So when we talk about westernization, are we really talking about cultural exchange, or are we just talking about the spread of capitalism? Is it progress or exploitation? Thank you.
Modernization is the process where societies adopt Western culture, including its industries, technologies, sciences, and more, often through influence or compulsion. It's a broad term encompassing the spread of Western customs, values, and institutions across the globe. This can manifest in various ways, from adopting Western languages and fashion to embracing Western political and economic systems.
What do you think of when you hear the word westernization?
I think about American stores that came to Lebanon and became popular.
Labubus, the little demons, because I hate them so much, and I'm pretty sure everybody thinks they're ugly, not just us. But
They're just following the trend.
they are, and I don't know. We just like hopping on the trend, whatever the trend is. But hanging a little demonized mini version of a very ugly being on your bag, your usually very expensive bag, it's not very fun.
Overconsumption of water.
It is so overconsumption, يعني. And I'm pretty sure nobody thinks they're nice, حتى the people who buy them.
Evolution and change. It's really a double-edged sword because on one hand, like mixing cultures or blending them can be good for like change, can be very beneficial كمان to countries that haven't really evolved that much yet. But at the same time, not clinging to our culture, or especially when people are so desperately trying to erase it, we'd basically be helping them erase it. when احنا we need to cling to our culture لأنه it's very beautiful. We should preserve our identity as a people.
So do you think that freedom comes only from the West?
Not really, but a lot of people come in, they confuse freedom for westernization. Like any sort of freedom here would be just like from the West, but that's not true.
Okay, thank you.
Westernization is an interesting, it's growing in popularity nowadays, or it's spreading across the world. Mainly because I think of TikTok and Instagram and basically the big social media resources that we use. I think it's fine, except that it pushes people to live to a certain point or a lifestyle choice. That everyone becomes sort of the same with that, so that everyone wants a big house with a basement. You know, the typical American way of life.
Everyone wants labubus.
Everyone wants labubus, yeah. Like, for example, everyone wants a big house, everyone wants a lot of kids, 2 kids. They want a garden, they want a backyard. Like, it changes everyone's opinions, or especially kids, I think, with series, TV shows, to have a certain standard of life, even though their actual standard is not that. So I think that westernization is kind of dangerous because it portrays an illusion, or it gives an illusion to every person that gets influenced by it, because every illusion is dangerous, because if it's an illusion, it's away from reality. So that's what I think about westernization, and it really depends on how weak in spirit you are or strong in spirit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think style, mindset, how social media affects how we think, and
Would you think it has a positive impact?
depends on the person, to be honest, how you take it. And I think everyone has the freedom to choose westernization or not, or stay traditional.
Yeah,
So
Okay, thank you.
Same questions?
Yes.
I think westernization, we took a lot of bad elements from it, personally. I think, like 100 years ago, maybe, 100 years ago, maybe people were more conservative, they were more traditional, they were not clear open. Today, they're more open. They're sometimes also more friendly, I would say. But I think even with the more friendliness, there comes شوي taking some bad elements at the same time. So it's في goods وفي bads. Yeah.
So you think we should just find a middle ground?
Yeah, I think balance is key.
To follow the West, to start adopting their ways.
Do you agree with that?
It's nowadays it's part of the whole world, but it's not necessarily something good because it has corrupted a lot of like societies. If you want the Arab world, Middle East.
So you think we should cling to our cultures?
Moderately.
When I hear the word westernization, I think of the media that's been transferred from American and European and Canadian culture, movies, TV shows, books, music, songs. Not necessarily a bad thing because it's good to be connected to the world and everything around you, and it's good to share parts of your cultures. It's good to be open-minded. To an extent, parents today, like older people especially, they have a really negative connotation because of the queerness passed over. They think originated in the West, and like habits like alcohol and smoking, which it does encourage, and I don't support that. But it's not specific to the West. And what else was I gonna say? Like wearing more revealing clothes, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just self-expression and certain styles. I don't like goth or punk or anything alternative, which they consider they look like freaks. It is fine to an extent, which doesn't erase our already existing culture, or it takes from it, or it paints over it.
So you don't think it's a bad thing?
It's
not necessarily a bad thing.
Not necessarily, but it could become a bad thing.
What about you?
So the first thing I think of when someone says the word westernization is racism. And I'm going to give a few examples to explain this. So the first one should be shared, but it shouldn't be erased in exchange for another culture.
Yes.
And another thing that I want to say is the poet Sujata Bhatt, her main message is that you shouldn't forget your own culture, because if you forget your own culture and your own language, you forget your identity. So I really recommend that if someone out there is from another country and immigrates, learn your language, read your books, and learn your culture. It will make you feel a lot more content, a lot more whole. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, great point. Thank you.
Think about the US. Of course, the US is a hard power, but also has a lot of soft power. As we've seen with pop culture, the movies, how it spread in its influence around the world via colonization, which is not talked about often since the 1800s, but it's more, if you look in details, it's more than before. But it's more discreet, especially in Africa. There's a lot of American and European corporatization that exploit kids and everything, and steal African resources. And I think it's very bad. And the world needs to wake up and stop idolizing the West. This great being, especially since the values in the West are seemingly gone. There are no more family values. The divorce rate are going up and everything. Social media, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and exploring the layers of westernization with us today.
We hope this sparked new conversations and questions for you.
Stay curious and
Keep questioning the world around you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Talia and Riyam. Our topic for today is going to be the fear of the unknown. We have two subtopics, and I'm going to be talking about anticipatory anxiety. Sometimes the anxiety hits before I even know what I'm anxious about. My chest tightens and my mind races with all the what ifs. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if I can't handle it? The fear of what's coming, of the unknown, seems bigger than anything I can see or touch, but it's there. Anticipatory anxiety is like being on edge of something, not knowing whether I'll fall or fly. I tell myself it's all in my head, but that doesn't make it go away. The uncertainty grips me, pulls me into this spiral where I'm already scared of what hasn't even happened. And the hardest part is not knowing how to stop it, how to live through that fear. But here's the thing I'm slowly learning and accepting. The fear is just a noise. It's bigger in my mind than it is in real life. I can't predict everything, but I can trust myself to face whatever comes. The unknown might be terrifying, but it's not stronger than me.
Hey, it's Miriam, and our second subtopic for today will gonna be pistanothrophobia. It's a fear of trusting others, typically arising from a traumatic ending to a romantic relationship. People with pistanothrophobia often think that people are being unfaithful or untrue and may jump to sudden irrational conclusions about other people's motives. Alternatively, they may suffer from constant jealousy if they see their partner make any kind of contact with someone of the opposite gender. They live in a constant state of suspicion and stress. All phobias can disrupt a person's personal and professional life, but pistanothrophobia is uniquely harmful as it makes relationships of any kind impossible, making it challenging to cooperate with other people at first. And trust is integral to any relationship, and thus inability to trust others make it nearly impossible to maintain relationships.
Hey, it's Miriam, and my friend Talia is behind the camera helping me. We've been interviewing people for a couple of days at the campus of LEU in Beirut, and they had very interesting answers. Come with me to view them.
Talia and Reem. Our topic for today is going to be the fear of the unknown. We have two subtopics, and I'm going to be talking about anticipatory anxiety. Sometimes the anxiety hits before I even know what I'm anxious about. My chest tightens and my mind races with all the what ifs. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if I can't handle it? The fear of what's coming, of the unknown, seems bigger than anything I can see or touch, but it's there. Anticipatory anxiety is like being on edge of something, not knowing whether I'll fall or fly. I tell myself it's all in my head, but that doesn't make it go away. The uncertainty grips me, pulls me into this spiral where I'm already scared of what hasn't even happened. And the hardest part is not knowing how to stop it, how to live through that fear. But here's the thing I'm slowly learning and accepting. The fear is just a noise. It's bigger in my mind than it is in real life. I can't predict everything, but I can trust myself to face whatever comes. The unknown might be terrifying, but it's not stronger than me.
Hey, it's Miriam, and our second subtopic for today will gonna be pistanothrophobia. It's a fear of trusting others, typically arising from a traumatic ending to a romantic relationship. People with pistanothrophobia often think that people are being unfaithful or untrue and may jump to sudden irrational conclusions about other people's motives. Alternatively, they may suffer from constant jealousy if they see their partner make any kind of contact with someone of the opposite gender. They live in a constant state of suspicion and stress. All phobias can disrupt a person's personal and professional life, but pistanothrophobia is uniquely harmful as it makes relationships of any kind impossible, making it challenging to cooperate with other people at first. And trust is integral to any relationship, and thus inability to trust others make it nearly impossible to maintain relationships.
Hi, it's Miriam, and my friend Talia is behind the camera helping me. We've been interviewing people for a couple of days at the campus of LEU in Beirut, and they had very interesting answers. Come with me to view them.
Hi, I'm Mariam, a live broadcaster in LAU summer camp.
It's not working. It's not moving.
Okay, it's fine.
No, you do it.
Yeah.
You do it.
Okay.
Sit down.
Hi, I'm Mariam, a live broadcaster in LAU summer camp. Today, we're going to talk about emotional manipulation, a hidden way people control others by playing with their feelings. It can affect mental health deeply and happen to anyone, even you. So, what is emotional manipulation? It's when someone uses your feelings against you to control or influence you. Common signs are guilt tripping, gaslighting, playing the victim, or silent treatment. But why do people do this? So, manipulators want control, so they may use tricks like gaslighting or love bombing. Sometimes it's from their own issues, but remember that it doesn't excuse their behavior. It can affect you by making you feel anxious, confused, or lower your self esteem. You might even get stuck in harmful relationships. But just remember, it's never your fault. But how do you spot it? You might feel tired or upset after seeing them. Um, you might doubt yourself, apologize too much, or feel guilty for saying no. They might blame you or try to isolate you. Emotional manipulation doesn't always look like control. It often hides behind care, guilt, or silence. It makes you question your memories, blame yourself, and feel guilty for setting boundaries. The worst part is how subtle it is. By the time you notice, you've already started losing pieces of who you are.
اوكي مريم حنعيد لأن صار في ضجة و it's subtle not subtle اوكي.
It's what?
Subtle.
بلا البي بي
Ah,
The B is silent.
okay.
Okay. And action.
Emotional manipulation doesn't always look like control. It often hides behind care, guilt, or silence. It makes you question your memories, blame yourself, and feel guilty for setting boundaries. The worst part is how subtle it is. By the time you notice, you've already started losing pieces of who you are. What's your name?
Okay, hi, my name is Noor.
Hi, my name is Rama. My name is Reed Moussawi.
Hello, I'm Hawra.
My name is Anhal.
And what's your job? What do you work as in LAU?
I'm a counselor. I'm a student counselor at LAU.
I'm participating in the public speaking summer camp.
I'm a second year political science and international affairs student here at LAU. I'm currently working in the MU and diplomacy summer camp.
So I'm actually an LAU student, senior economics student.
Well, basically, I'm a GA at the Political and International Studies Department with Dr. Imad, and I'm a master's student in international affairs. And today we're at the MUN Diplomacy Summer Camp.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a few questions about emotional manipulation. So first of all, how would you define emotional manipulation in your own words?
Okay, so basically, emotional manipulation is like psychological influence where someone tries to control your emotions for a personal goal.
So technically, emotional manipulation, from my own understanding, it's when someone intentionally uses your traumas or your كيف بيقولوا نقاط ضعفك in order to gain their own goals or if they have their certain interests. So let me put it into the political perspective because that's what I have experienced. And
emotional manipulation is controlling someone's emotions.
So for example, we can easily see emotional manipulation taking place by certain politicians. هن they commit this kind of act من خلال مثلا شد العصب الطائفي او بس يكونوا عم بيركزوا على نقاط ضعف مجموعات معينه to brainwash يعني فيها توصل لهالمرحله. So technically it's simple when you just get a grip تحطي اصبعك على نقطه ضعف شخص وتضلك تشتغل عليها so that you can manipulate them. And stemming from the psychology of the person يعني بتوصل ل their society, their decisions, etc.
Have you or someone you know ever been emotionally manipulated, and how did you or they recognize it?
Okay, so basically it's more common than you think. A lot of people, they get emotionally manipulated. We see it a lot. People, يمكن they start doubting themselves. Their self-esteem becomes a bit low. They start second guessing if they're right or wrong all the time. They're sometimes dependent on the other person emotionally to tell them if what they're thinking is right or wrong.
Yeah, I've obviously seen some cases of emotional manipulation, especially in Lebanon, specifically or commonly within relationships, where wives usually get manipulated by their husbands. Yeah.
Definitely, everyone goes through such an experience because at the end of the day, emotional manipulation is an act that stems, in my own perspective, it stems from the human nature. If we go and read about Thomas Hobbes and the human nature, how negative it is, how vicious it is, it's very obvious that it is an act of human nature. So everyone goes through this experience and they would either manipulate or get manipulated or both.
So they get like pressured to do something they don't want to.
Yes, or get manipulated or do something that they don't believe in, they previously don't believe in, but do it anyways.
So that means you have experienced it. So how did you recognize that you have been emotionally manipulated, or at least someone tried to?
When you simply feel uncomfortable.
Okay, so basically a lot of gaslighting, maybe a lot of silent treatment, sometimes love bombing, sometimes bringing a third person.
And you think that you're not doing what you really want to do, or you're not feeling yourself, or you're not being yourself. So it's simple.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to those wives who have been emotionally manipulated, or basically anyone who has been emotionally manipulated?
Anyone who has suffered from any type of manipulation or such hardship, they must not break out because it happens sometimes. Life has ups and downs, and the most important thing is take your time, heal yourself, don't be harsh on yourself, and yeah, that's all. To be gentle with yourself in order to heal.
I try as much as possible to put boundaries and to get away from these people. You've got to get away from negative energy.
Yeah.
It's a must.
So the advice I have is, one, communicate your thoughts. I'm a believer in like communication if it's done properly. I believe you can actually convince people about whatever idea you have in mind. So if you believe someone is manipulating you, just be clear with them, tell them your ideas, because maybe that's just a misconception and something that can be solved, or just cut it off. Some things should just be ended, especially if it's happening in relationships and even friendships. Put your boundaries and that's it.
So is that the type of advice you'd give to someone who has been emotionally manipulated? You would tell them to cut the person off?
One, they should seek therapy. I'm a big fan of therapy. I'm a supporter of that because if your physique needs help, you go to a physician. If your psyche needs help, you should go to a psychologist. So yeah, basically that's it.
How would those types of manipulation affect a person, like their personality, their mental health, etc.?
So it can affect a lot the mental health on a unpleasant way. Sometimes it affects the self-esteem. Sometimes, as I mentioned before, the person starts doubting himself. He becomes emotionally dependent on the other person to tell him if what he's doing is right, what he's doing is wrong, what he's feeling is right, what he's feeling is wrong. A lot of guilt, a lot of doubt. So, yeah.
The first piece of advice I'd give to someone who's in that situation is to believe in themselves. Believe in what they feel, whatever they feel. They should know that it's valid. They shouldn't underestimate what they feel. They shouldn't feel like their feelings aren't valid. Like what I feel might be different than my friends' feelings, but at the same time, they can't make me feel bad for what I feel. They can't make me feel like I am wrong or that my feelings are not valid or they're not socially acceptable, whatever, So the first piece of advice that I'd say to anyone, not just in this situation, but anyone in general, is to believe in yourself. Know that you're enough and don't let anyone affect who you are. Don't let anyone change who you are. So yeah.
So setting boundaries is basically...
Now that you know how to spot it, to protect yourself, you have to set firm boundaries, trust your gut, get support from people you trust, and take care of yourself. It is okay to say no. If you are a victim, talk to a counselor or someone who can help. LAU has mental health resources. Please reach out because speaking up is the first step to healing. To sum it up, emotional manipulation is serious, but you can protect yourself with awareness and support. Thank you for listening. Please share this information to help others.
Go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I am Patrick.
And I am Nasser.
And we will be your hosts for today's broadcast.
Our subject is euthanasia.
And our objective is to present it and get the Lebanese people's opinion on it.
Sit tight and let us begin.
The first part will be about why is it controversial. For a bit of context, euthanasia is the act of intentionally ending a person's life, usually to relieve their suffering from an incurable or painful disease or condition.
It sparks ethical, legal, medical, philosophical, and personal debates. As for recent news, published on France 24 on 27/05/2025, France's National Assembly allowed euthanasia for terminally ill adults, which came with controversy with Catholic bishops and religions. The second part will be about why do some people agree with it. How can euthanasia help people who are suffering with no hopes of recovery?
Yeah, it relieves their pain. So what's the purpose of letting them feel the pain when you can just relieve them if there is no hope, no, they may survive or the disease may just diminish. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, how can euthanasia help people who are suffering with no hopes of recovery?
So if they have no hope at all, it is better to take the treatment because they will at least lower the amount of suffering they feel in their lifetime. So I recommend to take it. Okay? ماشي الحال.
Thank you. How can euthanasia help people who are suffering with no hopes of recovery?
So in case the patient really, the doctors decide that this patient really has no hope, I think this helps him from suffering. I'm not sure if really, my dad passed through this, honestly. But he died naturally. He passed away naturally. But I was thinking that if the doctors told us that they really need to take this decision to help him, I think I will go for this. I think it will be okay for us.
Okay.
To avoid the sufferings. And I don't know. I'm not in the patient's shoes to see if what feelings this patient would have been feeling, or I really don't know. But as an outsider viewpoint, if this really helps, we go for this decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, from a medical point of view, we asked how should doctors decide if a person qualifies for euthanasia? To answer it, we took from a report in the National Institute of Health, which said that doctors deciding on euthanasia eligibility must ensure that the request is voluntary, well considered, and arises from an unbearable suffering due to a terminal illness without prospect of improvement.
The third part. Does your religion allow it, and what do you think about it?
My religion doesn't allow it actually. الإسلام يعني حتى قتل النفس هو الانتحار حرام، وهذا يعتبر قريب من الانتحار يعني، وقتل المسلم إجمالا حرام عندنا بالإسلام. وغير هيك إنه الروح عنا هي شيء يعني من الله، فالله اللي بيتحكم فيها مش نحن. ما عندنا حرية الاختيار بالإسلام. وبعيدا عن الدين كمان نفس الشيء، أنا ما بأمن أنه أي حدا بحق له يتحكم بحياة شخص آخر. طبعا يعني لما نقول قتل رحيم يعني ممكن حدا يكون غايب عن الوعي، حدا انه فاقد شيء من القدرات العقليه كذا، فالمين اللي بقرر بالعدل؟ الاهل. انا برايي انه ما حدا بحق له، حتى لو اهله، ما حدا بحق له يتحكم بحياه الشخص. وشايفين كتير قصص وسامعين كتير قصص يعتبروا معجزات، كيف عالم بيكونوا على طرف الموت يعني، وبالاخير بيرجعوا بعيش وبيرجعوا لحياتهم الطبيعيه. فبرايي انه لا، ما لازم يعني ناخذ هيك قرار ونترك الامور تاخذ مجريها الطبيعي.
Okay, thank you.
Does your religion allow it? What do you think about it?
My religion is Islam, so I would say no, it doesn't allow it because Islam frowns upon suicide, and euthanasia is a kind of suicide. So I would think no, it probably wouldn't be allowed. And me personally, I think, and no, it depends on the case. And for example, if someone is terminally ill, and they know their day is going to come like 100%, then I think they should get euthanized instead of just waiting around and suffering for nothing.
Thank you. What does your religion think about euthanasia?
They don't agree with it, or they think it's a sin, or that it shouldn't happen. But I think in some cases I do support. It really all depends on like the person, how critical their situation is, how much like pain they are in. Really like كمان what other people like their families like. ما بحس we shouldn't let like one opinion from a religion affect like all the people. Is like that person wants. We shouldn't let our personal like opinion or our personal هيدا affect whether they get access to it ولا لا. We shouldn't let that happen.
Thank you.
From a specialist's point of view, we asked, does euthanasia contradict the doctor's oath? For context, the Hippocratic Oath is a promise doctors make where they swear to follow rules like do not harm and keep patient secret. But in some places, breaking this oath isn't just about behavior, it can lead to legal trouble. Keep patient secret.
Indeed, in another report of the National Institute of Health, some interpretations of the Hippocratic Oath are seen as contradicting euthanasia. However, other perspectives argue that the oath's focus on doing good and avoiding harm could be interpreted to support euthanasia in cases where it elevates unbearable suffering.
For the final part, we will be talking about should it be allowed in Lebanon, and as a side note, no countries in the Arab world allow euthanasia.
Do you think Lebanon will allow it in the future?
I think it's hard. I think mostly it's because of the political parties here, the religious backgrounds of the political parties. So I don't think it's possible to be that easy for it to be applied in Lebanon.
Thank you. Do you think that euthanasia will be accepted in the future of Lebanon?
I think it already should be accepted. Euthanasia is an act of mercy. It's because it's considered not accepted because of religion, but it should be considered accepted the same reason, religion, because religion advocates for mercy. إنه يكون رحيم merciful for everyone to be at peace and tranquil, and to lack of suffering. So if someone's suffering constantly and their brain that they're unable to do anything, they're basically soulless. They don't have anything more to contribute, and their existence just be a pain, just pain. I think yes, it is morally correct and it's the ethical thing to do, so it should be accepted and it will be accepted.
Thank you.
Lebanon have many problems in the past. No, I think they won't accept it, but I hope they do, and I think maybe some hospitals will do it like without anyone knowing, and just lie on the report or something. As she said, it's like it's letting go of someone that's already in pain and they can't do anything about it. So it's just sad looking at a person that's in pain and they can't do anything, they can't move, they can't talk, they're just there on the bed doing nothing, and you don't put them out of their misery. Wait, I want to add something. Usually like farmers and people who raise animals, they kill the animals once they're sick because they know they can't recover and they don't want them to be tortured.
that practice should not just extend to animals, it should extend to us humans, because they feel like we're more sentient, we have more conscious.
Thank you very much.
Researches done by the Lebanese university students showed that out of 440 participants, half of them didn't know that euthanasia was illegal in Lebanon, with most of them.
I start? Okay. And that brings our broadcast to an end. I hope you have enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure sharing this topic with you.
Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reem Isa, a 12th grade student. I'm excited to be here to talk about a topic that matters to all of us, career guidance. Choosing a future path can be overwhelming. And that's why, because of that, it's important to choose the right tools and decisions. Today, I'll be sharing why career guidance is essential for us as students to discover our strength and make our successful future. Imagine this. You're 17, standing at the edge of your future, everyone asking the same question. What do you want to be when you grow up? But no one taught you how to answer it. You scroll, you search, you sweat, you panic. Someone tells you to be a doctor, another tells you to be an engineer, ignoring your interest and ability and just thinking about the value of this or that job in society. This is not just your story. This is the story of thousands of students drowning in confusion, lost in C majors, no map, no compass. Let's be honest, how we are supposed to pick our entire future before we even figure out who we are. The struggle is real. Many students still teach math, science, history, but skip one significant subject, which is orientation for how to choose your major. And so students end up deciding their future blindly, ignoring their abilities and interests, following money and fame. To dive deeply into career guidance, let's agree to the truth that it's not a magic, it's self-discovery. It's about asking the three simple but life-twisting questions. What am I good at? What do I enjoy? What are the majors needed nowadays? When answering these three questions, it means you're about to reach your destination. So if you feel lost, remember that you're not broken, you're not late, you just haven't found the map yet. Look for guidance, ask, explore, make personality tests, talk to guidance specialists, because choosing major is not choosing a job for life, but it's choosing your fate too. This was the Career Compass, your guide out of confusion and into clarity. And just keep in mind that the future is not written yet and the pen is in your hands.
My name is Caroline Fawaz. I'm the career advisor at the Lebanese American University in Beirut campus. I've been working in career advising for the past 7 years. Before LEU, I used to coach students, high school students, about their career on my own, and now I've been with LEU for 2 years.
What's the first step you take when helping a student choose a major?
Okay, so basically, the first thing I do actually is have a talk with them, know more about their interests, their values, their likes and dislikes, get to know their ambition, where do they see themselves. After that, if they are still lost, we can do a career assessment test. If not, from there we can look through majors and then they can make a defined decision.
What kind of tools or tests do you use to guide students?
Basically, at LAU, we use the strong inventory assessment. It's an assessment that does not measure potential. It measures students' interests. So basically, they would have to answer like 244 questions in the assessment, and from that assessment, we can know what are their interests, what type of major suits their personality, and the type of work that compares them to other people in that job, if they would succeed in it. And of course, it does not measure potential. So personal work and personal effort cannot be defined in any assessment.
Are there certain majors you believe students are overlooking that actually have strong future?
I mean, nursing. Many students don't like to do nursing, and I believe it's a major we all need. Nobody wants a robot to be their nurse. We need nurses. And social sciences also, like political science, international affairs. Students really don't like to do that major. They like to stay away from it.
What advice would you give to a student who feels completely lost about their future?
First of all, I would tell them it's a completely normal feeling. Everybody has been in their shoe and has had some fears about that. It's normal. Then I would like to address that fear. Where is it coming from? Why do they feel that way? Are they completely lost? They don't know anything about like their future, what to do or where to start. And from there, I can know how to address the issue after I address the fear. And I just reassure them that it's okay to be afraid. Would you want a specific answer for that? Tell me. I would help them gain some clarity about basically reflecting on themselves and the career that they would like to pursue. I like to start with the career because I like people to envision where do they see themselves working and in what. And maybe from there they can have a sense of direction about what major to choose.
What would you tell students who are afraid of changing majors after starting university?
Before that question, by the way, and I would like to tell students to remove any external influence, whether it's from their parents, from their peers, to remove this influence. And after the external influence is removed, to choose a major based on their interests, not because my friend is doing so, not because my friend told me this major is interesting. Okay, it's interesting. Do you like it? Do you want to do it? Do you want to pursue it? Would you like to work in that field?
Now the question.
Yes.
What would you tell students who are afraid of changing majors after starting university?
Okay, first I would tell them why are they doing that? Is it because they're not doing well in that major? Are they failing? Is it because they had a difficulty with one course in that whole program? Is it because they thought the major was something and then it turned out to be something else? So that question is a bit tricky because depending on the reason, I can address the issue and know why. So if I wanted to start, they're not doing well. Okay, it's fine. It happens. You learn from your experience. What can we do now? What are your likes? What would you like to pursue? And we look at the options for them. If it's because of one certain course they don't like, students have to know that the curriculum is not based on their likes and dislikes. There are many things or hardships that they will inquire during their major or studying at university, and it's normal. They would have to do their best and maybe find some fun in other courses. If it's because they thought it was something and it turned out to be something else, that's why we always advise them to pass by the career office, pass by the advisors, talk to them about their major. What do you think it is? What do you think it offers? What are the career paths after you graduate? I think that's very important.
In your opinion, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
The positive impact I have on their lives. I mean, choosing your major and choosing what career path to pursue is it's your first decision towards adulthood, and having that impact on students, because I chose this career path based on a personal experience. I wanted someone like me to help me when I was in college choose the major that I would excel at. And because I needed someone like that, I chose to pursue this career and help every student when they're lost, when they don't know what to do, where to start from, or how to start. So it gives me a sense of accomplishment. Thank you.
My name is Raed Mohsen. I'm the Dean of Students at Lebanese American University. أهلا وسهلا فيكم.
What advice would you give to a student who feels completely lost about their future?
It's normal for students to be confused, to be lost confused about which major to choose. Some students, they know what they want to major in at the university when they are 13 and 14 years old. And others, they are almost in and they still are not sure. The previous example is normal, and this example is also normal. But the issue is that at most universities, we have career counseling, and the career advisor provides some information, testing tools for the student to be closer to make a decision. And assuming that the student makes a decision, or since age 14, she is thinking of this major, and after 1 year, she finds out that she is in the wrong major, this is also normal. Now, who worries? The parents worry. They think that my daughter, who has been dreaming of this major for 4 years, now she wants to change the major. And our answer is, this is normal. Okay? المهم إنه the most important thing is that after being a year and a half at the university in American system, it will be about time to decide on a major. So you can still change. Why after a year and a half? Because all the credits can fit in any major, because most of them are general requirements. You can still change a major after 2 years, but maybe you lose some credits and some of the courses that you got passing grades on.
What would you tell students who are afraid of changing majors after starting university?
No, that's what I said. They don't have to worry about changing the major. It doesn't mean that you are a loser. It simply means that you are following your passion and your mind, what you are interested in, and you can understand and absorb, and what your passion is. So maybe you'll find this passion after being at university a year and a half.
In your opinion, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
Dealing with students. مع الشباب والصبايا في أحلى منها مثلكم. أهلا وسهلا فيكم.
Were you lost after graduation to choose your major?
هلا اكيد يعني الكل بيعاني من قصص بعد الجراديويشن، خصوصا العالم اللي مش اخذه ولا شيء خاصه بالكارير اورينتيشن يعني للجامعه وهيك، فاكيد I was lost يعني at some point.
Yes, I believe schools often don't prepare us enough to know what major we should pursue in university.
What did you do to choose your suitable major?
We had some orientation sessions, and I especially looked at the courses offered and how it would be for me studying them, as well as the career and the future of such a major.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
اكثر شيء اخذت تيستس اونلاين، يعني كل شيء خاصه بالكارير، يعني مثلا في قصص بتسالوني انت شو اكثر شيء بتحبه، ما بعرف فور اكزامبل او شيء هيك، واللي حسوا انه انجينيرينج يعني بالاخر، وهلا صرت انجينير.
As our broadcast comes to an end, we would like to thank you for joining us. This broadcast would not have been possible without the outstanding efforts of the high school students coordinated by Dr. Gretchen King with technical support from Kirill. The campers worked hard to meet today's deadline.
We would like to thank Jenna, Aisa, Ms. Huri, Sayal, and all the technical and support multimedia staff who supported us through our work. We would also like to thank the School of Arts and Sciences for hosting all of these summer camps here at LAU.
From
the
LAU Beirut campus, we say goodbye.
We say goodbye and
Stay
stay
safe.
safe. We could have had it. It's fine. We could have had it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, she. Yeah, no, she. I was supposed to. We were supposed to be in sync. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, welcome to LAU. We hope you have fun.
Welcome to LAU.
Welcome to One Diplomacy Summer Camp.
Mute it from here. There should be sound now. I unmuted it from here.
Okay, can you hear us? All right, so first of all, I want to thank everyone for taking down your equipment as quietly as possible. Thank you. Second of all, I want to congratulate everyone who worked on a very tight deadline. And I want to thank our technical director who made everything mostly 100% perfect for that technical deadline. As you know, camp started on Monday. And it got increasingly hot all week long, hotter, and students were out on campus every day recording interviews in the heat, carrying around equipment. They did not have assistants. They carried tripods and cameras wherever they went, and they did so carefully. And so I want to thank each of them for their participation in the camp by offering them a certificate of participation. So this one is for Reem, who went last. Reem, you go first, and you accept your certificate, but as you come up to accept your certificate, I want you to say, Reem, say, Spanish way. I want you to say one thing you learned at the camp about yourself as a media maker, even if you're not going into journalism, if you're not going into communication, economics, that's fine. But we want to hear from you. What did you learn about yourself as a media maker? One sentence.
No, nothing is impossible. I can do everything.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Reem. Let's bring up Miriam. Here you go, Miriam, your certificate of participation. Tell us one thing you learned about yourself as a media maker this week.
I learned that I can actually communicate with people if I try to, and I should just stop being shy.
Good luck with that. Thank you so much. All right, so this one is for Nasib. Nasib, Congratulations on your participation this week. What did you learn about yourself as a media maker? Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Nassim. Patrick, our conspirator. Thank you so much, Patrick, for your participation this week. What did you learn about yourself as a media maker?
It's not that hard to talk with people.
Yeah, and you do all the nonverbal language that's really necessary for making that happen and comfortable for them. Thank you for that. Talia, come talk to the camera live on YouTube. Let's see what's going to happen to you. You didn't catch on fire. You're fine. What did you learn about yourself as a media maker today?
I learned that I'm capable of doing a lot of edits and a lot of video making, so I'm good at it.
Yeah, you're good at it, and you could probably stay there for hours editing, so it might be something you look forward to. Thank you so much, Talia. Reen. Reen, what did you learn about yourself this week as a media maker? As a media maker. And come see me anytime for coffee on campus. We'll see you, Reen. Take care. Layla. Congratulations, Layla. What did you learn about yourself as a media maker? Congratulations. Thank you so much, Layla. Yara. Hi, Yara. Congratulations. What did you learn about yourself this week as a media maker? That you can talk for hours and film for hours and shoot B-roll for hours, even though we're desperately trying to get you in the studio, right? Thank you so much, Yara. Lean. You were first, so now you're last, right? Lean, what did you learn about yourself this week as a media maker?
I got to see in depth what goes behind multimedia making. I knew it was hard work, but now I appreciate the credits a lot more.
Thank you so much. I want to also announce the 2 winners. Yes, there are indeed 2 winners of 2 scholarships for 30%. And I told them at the beginning of the week that number 1, this is dedicated to students pursuing their passion in communication and journalism, but also number 2, we're seeking to support students who put effort in this week, who showed up and who participated, even if that meant that they needed a little encouragement. So I want to announce the 2nd place winner first. They both get 30% scholarships, but there's a number 1 and a number 2. That's how life is. There's hierarchies, unfortunately. So the number 2 participation winner and contribution for the live broadcasting summer camp goes to Nasser, who is going to come and accept his award now, although he seems deeply surprised because he could have participated more. Is that why you're surprised? Okay, congratulations and good luck on your studies for communication, okay? And then the number 1 participation award goes to someone who helped everybody. Layla, come and take your award, please. And congratulations to our 1st and 2nd place winners for their efforts in this camp. Congratulations and good luck in your studies, okay? Thank you so much. I want to thank Khalil again for even shooting the award ceremony. Thank you all for being here. Please eat cookies, please drink juice, and too bad for our YouTube audience, we cannot send that to you online. Thank you all, and have a good day. Thank you again.